Welcome to Backyard Gridiron Talk. I'm Addison.
Frank.
Welcoming you to post Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Everything. I got all my picks right. So that was
I only
exciting.
got the.
I'm not even tallying our points anymore because I won. But
doesn't matter. The only game I got wrong was the Raiders. It's the only game we had different. So.
It was an interesting weekend. The Raiders almost came back and beat the Bengals, but the Bengals prevailed. Most of the games were blowouts.
Those refs in that game should never ref again. They were so bad.
But also,
they were
bad. And they already said they're not reffing anymore, so that was fun. And then how about them Cowboys?
Mike's that out.
Oh, you can still hear it.
I know.
Just continue.
Anyways, how about those Cowboys choking it up as we projected?
Yes.
Those Niners did their thing. They played their defense. Nick Bosa got after it. They ran the ball all over them. Jimmy G had some clutch moments and some not clutch moments, doing Jimmy G things. It was a good win if you're a Niners fan. Dak, Cowboys ending the season doing Cowboys things is what I texted our group of friends. And it's just Mike McCarthy in a nutshell. He's been terrible at clock management since he was with the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that a lot of Cowboys fans and Dak Prescott, who was forced to apologize, would blame the refs in that situation.
The refs are right. He has to touch the ball.
He has to touch the ball, and why the hell are you running the ball with 14 seconds left?
And Dak handed the ball to the center and not the ref. Yeah. Give the ball to the ref. Maybe you got a chance. But it was. Well,
you need 3 seconds to spike it. They weren't even on the line at 3 seconds.
Right. No, nonetheless, it's based off of just background information I did on just proper clock management. Most of the time when you're in that situation, if you're going to do that, you need 18 seconds on the clock. He did it with 14, and that ended their season. And I was just like, wow, this is really how their season's going to end. But that's how the Cowboys do, America's team.
Yeah, that's a joke. And then, of course, there's my Steelers. But as we both know, we both picked the Chiefs. Not a surprise. They gave me hope. 6.5 minutes left, up 7-0. It's like, hey, this could be a game at halftime. It wasn't. Chiefs fired very quickly. So that was expected. Offense just can't do anything under Matt Canada. And it's showing. And it showed against Kansas City. And showed in just about all the games this year. Even the games we won. Canada's just not the right guy, but we're going to keep him.
That's the Steelers' way.
We're going to keep him. And with a different quarterback, they're thinking he'd be more effective with a young quarterback. I personally don't see it, but, it is what it is. Keith Butler's probably retiring, which would make Terrell Austin our defensive coordinator, who is currently our secondaries coach. But he does have defensive coordinator experience with the Bengals and the Raiders. So, well-known guy, too. So, well-liked, too. So, we'll see.
There you go.
Let's see what else. That was Ben's final game, it looks like. Just waiting on the retirement announcement. Don't know when that would be, but it's inevitable. So it's coming. Just don't know when.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
I mean, it's not like I'm expecting him to do great things next year, even if he were to play, which he's not. So
that's true.
So it is what it is. The time has come, and Steelers announced they will not be pursuing big name veterans. But then I saw something that they may go after Kirk Cousins, which is a big name veteran. So I don't know.
He's big. Well, his numbers are big name.
Yeah.
But people hear Kirk Cousins, they're like, yeah, it's Kirk Cousins.
I mean, I think
no offense to Kirk Cousins.
I think if we
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I think if we grab Kirk Cousins,
that's a big.
We're a playoff team.
I would say.
I think when we battle with
if your offense can figure it out.
Yeah, and I'm sure our offensive line will improve for sure.
Yeah,
like they're going to draft and whatnot. When it comes to Rudolph and Haskins being the two options next year, do I think they can get us to 500? Absolutely. Playoffs? No. I personally don't see it. Maybe Haskins. I just know what Rudolph can do.
Yeah, no.
And like I told you earlier,
Haskins has the
think,
talent, but he needs to get his fucking head straight.
Yeah, and so far this year he hasn't done anything out of
So
that
I mean,
manner,
it's possible he could come out and play well. You know what I mean? But like you said,
I think he has
play calling and
you know,
whatnot.
he has the potential for sure because I mean he's on a better team than he was on in Washington. So we'll see. I personally
way better organization.
Yeah, I feel that with those two options, I'd prefer Haskins because we saw what Mason Rudolph can do. He can keep us in games, but he's not going to go win us the game. It's going to come down to like, if he does, it's like a screen pass to Najee. Like anyone can make that throw, and it's like Najee's going to do the rest, or like a defensive turnover, like inside the 5 or something. It's not like Mason Rudolph's not. We're not going to be down like by 3 with a minute left and no timeouts. I don't trust that Rudolph can get us in the field goal range.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see that. Like with Roethlisberger, it's like, oh, this game's going to overtime, maybe even winning it.
Yeah.
But with Rudolph, I can't see it. Haskins, small sample size, don't know. So that's why I kind of want him. If it comes down to those two, preferably I want an outside pickup, but we'll see. It is what it is. We got the 20th pick. Hopefully, I kind of don't want to get a quarterback. I kind of want to get an offensive lineman or another linebacker. Probably an offensive lineman.
You guys usually always pick defense.
Right? I know, but we desperately need offensive
Yeah, you
lineman.
do. I would definitely go try to get a veteran line and maybe get draft one. I mean, there's depth never hurts, and I mean, if you're arguing to get a Kirk Cousins, you do want to be able to run the ball. He plays best in play action. You need a good offensive line to do that. I mean, you have the receivers. You have 3 great receivers. If Juju comes back, you have 3 top receivers. If you can get a healthy offensive line, you have the tight end and Pat. Kirk Cousins definitely makes your playoff team with that defense.
Yeah.
But and Dwayne Haskins, again, like we said, he hasn't. We don't know how much he's grown in the year he sat under Ben and under your organization, under Tomlin and whatnot. But like, if you don't go get a veteran, there's no reason. Give him the key, see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it turns out bad, next year's QB class, like we said earlier, is way better than this one's. And you don't want to finish with a bad record, but like we finished 7-9 with the 13th pick. You can get a quarterback at 13. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like even if you finish 7-10, sorry,
7 and 10.
But
no, you
8-9. We fit 8-9. Even so, 8-9, and we had the 13th pick.
Right.
And if we finished 7-10, we would have been between 7 and 9. So like you could still be competitive and still potentially get a top 10 pick now with how many games we play and how spread out the league seems to be. I mean, the Jaguars have 2 wins this year. I mean, they have the number 1 pick, so at least
I think they had 3 actually.
Right. So exactly. So at least you could see the leagues getting a little more competitive to where, like, if you do have a losing season, you could potentially get that quarterback that could lead you be your next big bet. So if you don't go get a Kirk Cousins, I would let it ride with Dwayne, see what happens. And you never know. I mean, he has the talent. He was a top 10 pick.
Right.
He led
a few years ago.
He has the passing record in the Big Ten. Like, he has talent. He knows, like, it's just all about the coaching
and I think he just wasn't
having the right.
He wasn't in a good situation.
No. I mean, he was in Washington. It's the worst run organization in football.
Yeah, Dan Schneider and company. Yeah, they were just terrible. So give him the reins, and we couldn't see what he could do in preseason because when other teams had like their starters in, we had our third strings in.
Right.
So he was playing starter. He was playing starters with third string players. So it's like, yeah, he wasn't going to do anything.
Right.
So that was the most of the time he was out there was that. Yeah. I mean, as the game went on, each team had third strings out there, but who the hell is going to – it's not like he's going to light up the world with third strings.
No.
So give him Juju, give him, Claypool, give him Pat Freiermuth, give him
you have weapons on your offense.
Absolutely.
You just need an offensive line that can pass and run block.
Right.
A little bit better than what they do now.
Because honestly, if we give – even if Rudolph starts, we give him time in the pocket, maybe we could make some throws.
Right.
Rudolph, he isn't a bad quarterback. He's just, in my opinion, he's not a NFL starting quarterback.
He's a backup.
He's a lesser, in my opinion, this may be far-fetched, but he's a lesser Case Keenum. Case Keenum's not necessarily a starter in the NFL, but if you
No.
put him in for a couple games for your injured player, he's going to be effective. And I feel like that's the same
I would
in
agree
a
from
way
the
that it
standpoint
goes
of
for Rudolph. If
yeah,
he's a reliable backup, if you put him in, he's going to make some throws. He's going to keep you in the game, but
right.
he's not your long term
And
answer.
it's not like he goes out and makes it like, for instance, I'll watch a Browns game and you watch Baker play, and he'll have like 2 or 3 throws a game where like Case Keenum can't make that fucking throw. Ain't no way in hell Case Keenum can make that throw. Like Joe Burrow makes throws. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph can keep you in the game, but he can't make that fucking throw.
You can't make a Ben
You know what I mean?
throw.
Right, exactly. So like I get it, like from that standpoint, absolutely. But I have a question for you. I was Dallas. If you're Dallas, do you fire Mike McCarthy and make Dan Quinn your head coach?
No.
Because Dan Quinn's going to leave. He's going to get a head coaching job, but Jerry Jones wants to keep him.
No, I don't believe so. Only because think about McCarthy and what he's had the past. Was this his second year?
Yeah,
second season. Last year you can't even count. I mean, Dak was out the whole season, so you're basically only basing it off of. They won the division. They won. Still, then they were what 4-1 or something.
No, they lost to us.
3-2, I think they were.
I think they were 3. I don't know, but they lost.
I think they were 3-2.
They lost to us, and then the next week
they had to win. They had a winning record. I know that. But so they must have been 3-2. But you can't even count last year technically. This year they come out, win the division, and then
they're sorry.
Shit the bed in the first game of the playoffs. Yeah, but I think you got to give McCarthy more time because I mean he is a proven. Is he bad at clock management? Absolutely, but he still has won a Super Bowl.
Penalized team.
I know, but those are mistakes you can fix in the offseason.
But can he fix them though?
That's the question. That's why you got to give him another.
Well, are you going to waste another year of Dak and Zeke in that offense because you want to hope that a veteran coach who's won a Super Bowl can fix something that he shouldn't have to be fixing?
But
I'm just saying. My thing is Jerry. We know who Jerry Jones is.
Basically, have 1 year sample size.
I agree, but Jerry Jones is in love. Loves Dan Quinn the way fucking the Patriots owner loves massage parlors.
This is Jerry Jones. He just says stuff.
But he wants to keep. He wants to keep.
I don't
Dan,
believe anything.
You don't think he wants to keep Dan Quinn?
He also said he was keeping Jason Garrett and fired him the next day. Well, so he says.
But Dan
he
Quinn,
just says
Dan
stuff
Quinn
that
he
says stuff that people want to hear.
I agree.
And that's
but Dan Quinn improved that defense tremendously, and I think he doesn't want to lose him. And if he's going to get a head coaching job offer, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones said. Just like you said, he fired Jason Garrett right after he said he was going to keep him.
No, I get that.
The same thing could happen with
Mike McCarthy. McCarthy can get
Dan
fired?
Quinn has Super Bowl experience. He never won one, but he got a team there. They should have ran the ball.
He would
have one.
In my opinion, out of the past couple coaches Dallas has had, Mike McCarthy seems like the best one. And look how many years they gave Jason Garrett. I mean, and you're telling me you can't give like an extra year of Mike McCarthy because
I'm not saying
guy
you can't. I'm just if
I'm
Jerry Jones,
head coach in this league.
I'm giving an extra year to Mike McCarthy, and if it doesn't pan out and I do fire him, I wasted Dak.
And that's where your front office has to come through and find the right guys. To replace Dan Quinn, to replace Kellen Moore because he's probably gone too.
We'll see.
I don't see why Dallas's offense is usually a hit or miss each week. So I don't know why Kellen Moore's getting offers, but. I mean, they are 1 week.
No, I agree.
1 week they score 45 points. Next week they can barely.
Well, that's the other thing. They score most of their points. If you average out the games, they average 40 some points against the division and like 20 against everybody else.
Right.
So I mean, I get it. They're taking advantage of the division they're in, but just because you're taking advantage of the division you're in. Doesn't necessarily mean you should keep your job if you can't improve in other areas. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm Dallas,
look at the Steelers. 4 of our 9 wins were in the division. So it's like we couldn't win outside the division, right?
And then look what happened in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's Philly was
not
the same
saying
thing.
Tomlin needs fired, but I'm just saying on the
Eagles got in the playoffs. Look what they did. They're in the same division as Dallas. Right. So how good are those teams?
Yeah.
That's all.
If you're only beating your division, you're not going to go far in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're not going to play your division the entire run. But I don't know. Anything else? No coaches have been hired.
None yet. A lot of interviews. Hines
Ward, Texans.
Hines Ward. Brian Flores is definitely going to get a job. some rumors have been that the Giants and the trading for Deshaun Watson. Maybe.
I mean,
the Giants do have 2 first-round draft picks in the top 10. So if you want to go get your quarterback, trade one of those. And no one else giving the first-round pick for Deshaun Watson, that's for sure. But
also another interesting name out there that's been floating around, quite a few teams, including Pittsburgh. But I believe Jameis Winston is a free agent too.
He is.
That would be an interesting pickup because I feel like he won't cost much, especially coming off an ACL tear.
I mean, he could go back to the Saints though too.
He could. And honestly,
they might draft a quarterback too.
Saints were honestly winning with him.
Yeah.
And then they kind of
they had to
played 500 ball after that.
They had to run Taysom Hill out there with Alvin Kamara and you can only do so much. I mean, they were finding ways to win because their defense, like yours, kept them in games, and they would have made the playoffs, but the Niners pulled through, and then they upset those Cowboys. Dallas.
How about them Cowboys? And I know what people will say. Why are you making fun of the Cowboys? Your team lost too. I wasn't having Super Bowl aspirations.
You weren't at home,
right?
Hosting a playoff game.
We weren't hosting a playoff game. We don't have one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
We don't have. Oh, we're the Super Bowl favorite this year. No, we made the playoffs just because fuck it. And it's like I knew we weren't going to go anywhere. So say what you want, but Cowboys, it's funny because it's like.
Every year.
This is our year. No, it's not. So funny. I love it. But nevertheless, by the way, last week's episode, if it didn't post on here, it's because I posted it on mine by accident. Yeah. So if you want to look it up, it's under my name. And then just type in, I think the video is called Playoff Bound Baby.
Yeah.
So go ahead, look that up. It's on my channel, Addison Medved. So.
Do you want to talk about the Mel Kiper's draft? First mock draft came out.
Sure.
They had the Browns taking Garrett Wilson from Ohio State.
He usually just gets the first pick right, but
yeah, I know. Usually, he had the Browns taking Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, second receiver off the board behind Drake London, who was supposed to project to go 10 to the Jets. He said they could also take an offensive lineman there, so we could have the first potential receiver option. I'm cool with Garrett Wilson. He could do everything. I loved him at Ohio State. Of course, that's who I want. Or Chris Olave if Wilson's somehow gone. And then the Steelers taking Matt Corral, Ole Miss quarterback who put up big numbers. He played well under Lane Kiffin, but he's like 6 foot something.
And he also he turns the ball over too much.
Right. And so
I
think you're going to take offensive line.
My ideal pick would be that offensive
just makes more sense.
That offensive tackle from Northern Iowa is my ideal first round pick. So
there you go.
We'll see.
Well, we'll get more into that once the season ends. We have the final. Maybe we'll do a couple, see what we do a mock draft. We've done that before. But yeah, let's get into our playoff picks for this weekend. Yeah. Great matchups. I have to pick a one winner this week, and I didn't know who to pick.
There's no givens.
No,
at all.
Not at all. Great matchups. First matchups, Tennessee and Cincinnati. In Nashville, Music City. King Henry should be back. They're rested. Big losses for Cincinnati. They lost Larry Ogunjobi. He's out for the season with the foot injury. He was starting defensive tackle or / nose guard. I'm not sure what they played, but he had 7 or 8 sacks, bunch of tackles for losses. They're going to run the ball, and Trey Hendrickson is in concussion protocol, which is big because they play on Saturday, so they have one less day to recover from that. Who led their team in sacks and was considered one of 14 sacks or something. He went nuts. So he had I think he set their single season record. So missing both of them, and with the Titans coming off that bye, being healthy, having a very good defensive line against Cincinnati's weak offensive line, I have Tennessee taking the game. I think it's going to be a great game. It could go either way, but I think I'm taking Tennessee with my highest confidence because that's how close these games are.
Yeah.
I think that's the best shot at me getting one right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Big returns coming for Tennessee. They're well rested. They're in Nashville.
And since Tannehill got both his receivers back, he's thrown 7 touchdowns and no interceptions. Very big in that play action because Derrick Henry's obviously going to be the key. But with Tannehill, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, that team is so hard to stop.
Yeah.
Because it just runs so efficiently.
I just think when it comes down to it, the Bengals played well very well over the course of the season. Um, Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind. The Raiders, they gave him a tough test. Raiders hung around, thought for a second Raiders are going to send that game into overtime,
Yeah.
and it was going to be more of the same for the Bengals. But they got over that hump. They got the win, and I think they carry that momentum into Nashville, and they're going to win. Bengals, I can see going to the AFC Championship. Bengals, I can see going all the way to the Super Bowl. I hate to say that, but I think Joe Burrow is playing at a high level, and that Bengal defense can make plays, especially against Ryan Tannehill.
No, I
think
agree.
they could definitely make plays. The thing is containing Derrick Henry.
I think their injuries are their downfall. If Henderson and Ogunjobi, two of your best defensive linemen, aren't playing against the healthy, Tennessee's the healthiest team going into this weekend, besides probably Green Bay. But Green Bay's tackles are still coming off injuries and aren't fully healthy. So Tennessee's, and that's where Cincinnati's defense was fully healthy going into this game. I could definitely see that. I just don't think that we'll be able to. I think Tennessee will be able to keep the ball out of Burrow's hands because we'll be able to run the ball. And when they need to, Tannehill, I think we'll be able to make plays. And their defense is just as good. That defensive line is so nasty that I don't think they'll be able. I think it's going to force Cincinnati to become one-dimensional because I think they'll be able to stop the run. And I can see what you're saying. I worry about their two best defensive players.
I've seen the inconsistency with Tennessee this year, and
by far Cincinnati's been inconsistent too. They got blown out by the fucking Browns at home, and it was a joke.
But that was early in the season too, when the Browns were actually playing.
It was week 9, week 10. It wasn't
really. I thought it was early in the season.
Our first game was against you. Halloween.
I thought it was like week 5.
No, our first division game was against you on Halloween.
Oh, well, regardless,
I'm just saying.
Both teams have been inconsistent. Okay, but
I'm taking Mike Vrabel on the coaching edge over Zach Taylor for sure.
When it comes down to it, I see Tennessee's one of the most beatable 1 seeds I've seen in a while. They can lose.
Mike Vrabel, I hope you hear this. No respect from the Steelers.
I'm not saying
no respect.
No,
you just said they're the most beatable 1 seed you've seen in a while. How is that not respect? I don't know. How did they get the 1 seed with their best running back who hasn't played in 8 weeks, and now he's back and he's healthy?
Okay, so you're telling me
I respect the fuck out of that team because they're coached well. They play great defense.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying out of the 1 seeds, the past. All right,
I would take them.
You're telling me that you take them over the past 2 Chiefs 1 seeds?
Yeah, the Browns almost were in the game against the Chiefs last year. I don't think the Chiefs are
I'm just saying out of the Chiefs were the 1 seed the past 2 years. I'm not taking this Titans team over those 2 teams at all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
They're a beatable 1 seed. I wouldn't take them over the Packers this year. I wouldn't take them.
I think you beat the Packers this year easily.
I personally wouldn't take them. I just feel I've seen a lot of inconsistencies with them throughout the year. And the Packers' only inconsistency was week 1. And I don't know. It's going to be a close game. I'm not saying the Titans are going to fall flat on their face. I just think Burrow's just playing at a high level, and Tennessee really only on their offense, who is going to produce each and every week is Derrick Henry.
AJ Brown?
We don't know.
Since he's been healthy? Yeah, he has.
We still don't know. Tannehill isn't
all right, whatever. That's fine.
Amazing.
You don't know about Joe Burrow. He can have a bad game, too.
I'm just saying. I'm just taking the Bengals. That's all.
Right,
we'll wait and see.
Next game.
We'll see. Jeez. Getting so uptight about Tennessee. I like Mike Vrabel and all. I just feel like I don't trust them over the past few 1 seeds in the AFC. That's all I'm saying.
But those past few 1 seeds have nothing to do with this playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I said they're the most beatable 1 seed I've seen in the past few years.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. And I think if Pittsburgh would have got past Kansas City, we'd actually have a shot against them, too. But obviously, no way in hell we could have got past Kansas City. But what's next? Packers and 49ers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners. I think they do everything that Green Bay can't handle. They run the ball. They play great defense. They'll be able to keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands. And with those tackles not being fully healthy and the Niners defense being healthy, they had some quite like Bosa and Fred Warner were both questionable. But I think they're both going to play. Garoppolo's going to play. But the Packers can't stop the run. Nick Chubb ran all over them. The Niners are a team that'll sit there and they'll run the ball the whole game. And they'll keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands. And they have a good enough defense that they'll be able to stop them at least once or twice. So as long as they can convert and keep the ball out of their hands, I like San Francisco in this game. Not that I don't think, obviously, Rodgers is Rodgers. Green Bay can come out and blow them out. I just think that San Francisco is the perfect kryptonite for this matchup. And I see them going in there and winning the game.
Yeah, good point. I think this is going to be a very close game.
I mean, they played week 3, and Green Bay won on a game-winning field goal, 30-28.
Yeah.
So
they
already play well against each other.
Yeah, they do. And I think this is one of those games Packers got to watch out for. I just think, I don't know, this whole year I've just been feeling like this is the Packers' year.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they won.
49ers they're playing a lot better than I thought they would at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they got healthy. That defense is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, last year they were full of injuries.
Right. George Kittle's a beast.
Yeah, they're there. They're in the game
Samuel.
for sure. But I think when it comes down to it, the Packers are just going to find a way.
Yeah, no.
I think it's going to be close, though. 49ers could very easily win, but I'm taking
it could come down to if Rodgers has the ball to end the game or not.
Yeah.
It's that simple. But, like, those, like Debo, I mean, San Francisco's offense is just gelling so well right now, especially in the run game, that if Green Bay was any better at stopping the run, I'd have a little more confidence. I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop them.
That's a big question mark.
As much as they need to, because when you're running the ball, the clock's running too. That's keeping the ball out of the best player in the league's hands. And that's the key when you got to beat Mahomes and Burrow and Rodgers and Brady. You got to make sure they don't have the ball. Mm-hmm. If you could do that, there's a less likely chance they're going to win.
All right. And then next game's Rams and Buccaneers. Probably
another great game.
None
of these games are bad.
That's one of the ones that is most interesting.
Again.
Because it's just like, do we see Stafford pull some magic finally out of his hat, or do we see Brady continue this legacy?
To me, it comes down to, again, injuries. Tristan Wirfs, most likely he's not going to play. He's questionable. I think it's a knee injury. I'm not sure. But that Rams defense, nasty. It's another defense that's just so good. I think they'll be able to move the ball against the Buccaneers secondary. Maybe not so much in the run game, but their secondary is still injured, and they have Cooper Kupp, OBJ. They have weapons, and they know how to use them. And their defense is more healthier than the Bucs defense. I'm taking the Rams in this game. I think it mainly comes down to right tackle. I think that Leonard Floyd or Aaron Donald or Ron Miller, whoever the fuck they have lined over that right tackle, and their center's hurt too, Jensen. He's questionable as well. So if they're both missing, I just don't know how they're going to contain that defensive line.
No, I get where you're coming from there, but also what we got to remember, I don't think offensive line phases Brady whatsoever.
No, that's fair.
So
I don't think you'll be able to run the ball.
Figure it out.
I don't think you'll be able to run the ball, and I think the Rams will be able to get a lead.
No, they will have a tough time.
And so, I think that comes down to, all right, you got to make plays, but you're not mobile, so you're not getting out of the pocket. So you got to be quick. Well, you have which he is, but you have Mike Evans. Who else do you have on your? You have Gronk.
Godwin's out for the year.
You don't have any receivers that get like Mike Evans get open quick, but he's more of a deep threat down the field. Gronk, he's slow. He's a tight end. He's not going to get open. You know what I mean? You can set things up, but like little hitches, like they're going to be prepared. You're not going to be able to take those deep shots because if you're going to be able to get rid of the ball with your offensive line against that defensive line, you're only going to be able to do so much, and that's going to be able to help the Rams game plan better. I think the Rams will be able to offense will be able to move more efficiently down the field and score more. Mm-hmm. But then again, Stafford.
You don't
know. You don't know.
Brady
definitely, exactly. So you never know from that standpoint. But like, if Stafford just plays his game manager, if he manages the game, they should win. They should win. But you never know.
Some of his throws are crazy, and that's exactly what it is.
Speaking of crazy throws, Kyler Murray's interception. I was like, bro, take the safety.
I knew Cardinals had no chance in that game. So it was bad. But
yeah, great game.
I want to pick the Rams. I do. But every time I pick against Brady, he does something that's like, I shouldn't have picked me. So that's why I'm taking the Bucks, maybe in hopes that the Rams win. I don't know. So I'm taking the Bucks. Those are definitely good points, and I am not very confident in this Bucks pick whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to side with Brady. I mean, not the whole season, not the
No.
rest of the playoffs, but in this type of game, what I've seen from Brady, despite having injuries on his team, compared to Matthew Stafford's inconsistency,
Yeah. That's why I think that it comes down
I'm
to.
going to take Brady all day.
I think the defense on that Rams defense, those superstars they have, they win them. Aaron Donald wins this game. Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey.
I hope you're right.
I just
see
like
somebody different than Tom Brady winning.
Like I just don't see how you're going to put in a backup center and a backup right tackle and have Aaron Donald, the best interior defensive lineman there. You're like, oh yeah, we'll be okay. No, you can't. Like it's just not how it works.
Yeah.
And then I get Brady's great. You get the ball out quick, but even if you're getting out quick, you still have to be successful on those plays.
Right.
Just because you get out quick, you got 2 yards. Like, welcome to Browns football.
But also, that's Brady. That's what Brady does. The dink and dunk.
No, I know.
A lot of his career,
the Rams are,
and it opens up different areas. So
it does, but that line, I don't know. I worry about it.
It's a question mark,
but it's gonna be a great game.
It's gonna be a great game, and that leads us to probably the most offensive game.
Bet the over.
Absolutely. We got the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City from Arrowhead.
Yeah.
I have a strong feeling we are going to have all the exact opposite picks this week.
I don't think so.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking Buffalo.
I'm taking Kansas City.
I guess so.
So all of our picks are the opposite.
I'm taking Buffalo.
Here's why I'm taking Kansas City. I want to pick Buffalo, but I feel like it's just going to be an offensive explosion. And Buffalo is out their best cornerback, Tre'Davious White. And I think that's going to open the door for Kansas City. And despite it being an offensive battle back and forth, I think when it comes down to it, the Chiefs' defense, I feel like, is going to make a play over Buffalo's defense, and that's going to be the difference in the game. That's it. One defensive stop. I could see this game being 45-42. Tip ball at the line of scrimmage, Chiefs intercepted, game over.
Josh Allen's 6'6". He'll have tip balls
Well,
at the line of scrimmage, bro.
Right.
He's a big motherfucker.
Right.
He's not Baker Mayfield in this bitch.
Maybe bad example. But,
I know what you mean.
Like a nice block by the Kansas City defender, knock it away.
I just think
just at the last moment.
These two teams have played each other so much.
Yeah. And so well
that it comes down to if Buffalo can stop Kelsey and Hill and make Pringle or Hartman or someone else on that Chiefs offense beat them, that's the Chiefs. I think that's the Chiefs' key to success because I think the Bills will be able to shut down Hill and Kelsey to a point where we'll let you get your little plays, but we're not letting you beat us over the top. We're going to keep you in front of us, and you're going to have to beat us with your other players. And so if Kansas City can do that, then yes, they can win. But I just think Buffalo is on a fucking mission. They are determined. They feel like it's their time. And I think that right now, the way their offense played, the way they came out and played against the Patriots, they're a team that wants it. And they're hungry. And I think, like you said, it's a toss-up. Yeah. It comes down to who has the ball last. It could very well.
And that one defensive play.
Right, exactly. So I just think it's Buffalo's time to at least get to the next step and see if they can make it to that Super Bowl. And then, personally, you have 4 new teams. You definitely have a new Super Bowl. Buffalo wins and the Rams win.
Well,
that's what I'd like.
Imagine having the Bengals and the Bills in the AFC Championship.
Right.
That's even the Titans and Bills.
Even the Titans.
Yeah, even the Titans and Bills.
The Titans haven't fucking won shit. Not in a minute.
It's just cool knowing that. Nothing against Kansas City.
No,
but it would be cool to see one of those other 3 teams actually if Bills win, we're automatically going to see somebody different in the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Because Bills and Titans don't make it, or Bengals and Titans don't make it usually at all. So yeah, as long as the Bills win, we're going to see somebody different in the AFC. Somebody we haven't seen in a very long time. I think out of those 3 teams, the most recent was Tennessee in 1999?
Yeah, 99 or 2000. Yeah, when they lost in the goal line.
Yeah, that was out of those 3 teams. That was the most recent.
Yeah, 2000. I think it was a 99 season, but 2000.
Before that, it was the Bills 4 times, lost them all.
Yeah,
and then
Cincinnati.
the Bengals like 2 years before that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa. And then Kansas City, past 2 years, they've been in it. So, yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And then even in the NFC, as long as Rodgers hasn't made it since 2010 when he beat Pittsburgh,
right,
that's even different.
Yeah.
And then you got the Rams who lost it a couple years ago. You got the 49ers who continue to lose it every time they make it. And then, Tampa Bay defending champions. Yeah. So the AFC is more interesting because you got teams that haven't made it in forever. So it's going to be a fun weekend. We have the exact opposite picks.
Yeah,
so be interesting if one of us gets them all right.
Yeah.
I thought we would have got one. I strongly believed you were going to pick the Bengals for some reason. I don't know why, but apparently you're so against.
I just don't. I don't think they'll be able to overcome those injuries.
No, I get it. I didn't realize Okunjobi was out when I already made my pick.
Yeah.
But I still have faith in them. I don't want the Bengals to win. I want Tennessee to win, but personally,
if they're losing
what I think.
Their biggest pass rusher and their best defensive tackle, I don't know how you overcome that. Against a running team in a play act like that.
We'll see. I mean, Henry hasn't played for a while though, too. Is what we got.
Well, yeah, but he's been practicing since January 5th. He had a full padded practice yesterday, so I mean, he's going to be on the field. And I don't think the game will determine how much he plays. I don't know if he's going to.
I don't think he'll be on the field as much as he usually does.
No, it won't be on. No, not every down. I'm sure he'll switch series out with Hilliard or one of the other backs they have, and they'll get a good rotation in there. But he's definitely going to be in there and key plays, and even as a decoy, play action. Who cares? He makes that big of a difference. He was the lead. He used to finish top 5 in rushing in Michigan the season. So I mean, dude's a beast. Dude's a beast. Yep. But anyways, next week.
We'll see who's in the conference tournament. Yeah. Conference championship.
Yep.
Next week. So, any final thoughts?
No. Enjoy this weekend of football. 4 great matchups. Any game could go any way. So tune in for sure.
Yeah. That's all the time we have. Make sure you like us, follow us, and stay safe.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you. Stay safe. Cool.